Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? I have to put a silence on that. So, tonight we are going to talk about the women's suffrage movement, and today is the anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment. But the 19th Amendment and the suffragette movement did not appear out of thin air. If you guys want to join in on the panel, because, well, quite frankly, there's nobody here really yet. We had 3 people, but the 19th Amendment, life has changed a great deal in 102 years. A great deal. But the suffrage movement did not appear out of thin air. The suffrage movement arose from a movement called Chartism. And Chartism was the brainchild of a guy named William Lovett, who was a member of, oh God, it was basically a union in London, back in the early 1800s. And William Lovett wrote this thing called the People's Charter. Hey, you ever heard those type of words before? The People's Charter? Well, anyways, before that, there had never been a big movement going back all the way to the Greeks for women to have the vote in a republic or a democracy. It just didn't happen. There was never any formal recognition that females should vote. Well, Sentinel, he was not a communist because this predates Marx. But I'm glad you brought up communism, because Karl Marx was actually related to the Rothschilds and was funded by the Rothschilds through a guy named Frederick Engels. And Karl Marx was paid by the Rothschilds to corrupt grassroots movements like this Chartism movement. They actually, the Chartists were true believers. They really wanted the best for everybody. They weren't, they weren't like Marx. They weren't like, Stalin or any of those guys. They were not dictatorial. They were true believers in equal rights for everyone. Man, woman, black, white, everyone. The Chartists also opposed voting being contingent upon owning property.
As it should be.
So,
sorry, yeah. I'm back.
So they were populist socialists. All right. And that's this, what do you call it? The People's Charter was written in what? 1838 was the first written document, formal political written document demanding voting rights for women. And that's where the suffragette movement started. The suffragette movement was started by, you guessed it, a man.
And corruption. Literally everything that they have ever fucking touched, for the most part, when it comes to anything that was listed with like the People's Movement or the Rebellion or the, whatever fucking pro fucking civilization or pro fucking personal independence fucking society that's ever been formed, they have literally corrupted from the get-go. No matter how
Right.
good it
It didn't
was.
start off as corrupted, but the
No,
road to hell is paved with good intentions.
absolutely. And these people, they get in, they're like fucking ticks, right? They dig in and then they just start feeding. They feed and feed and feed until they poison the fucking host or whatever the case may be, and then they move on. So, yeah, sorry, I can go off on a 100
Oh,
rants.
it's all right. I'd like to welcome Matt Downer, JR, Indy MGTOW, Alien Rockin' Head, Mr. Hemme Force Speed, the Sentinel, Cyber Toxin, and David Smith. I'm happy that you all showed up for this brief history lesson before we get into the 19th Amendment. But why in the world was there an explosion of suffragettes all over the world? Why did that happen? It was organized worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
Before there was radio, before there was really any telegraph.
You
There
have to
wasn't.
remember, just like everything else that, like you said, paved in good intentions, it sounds very appealing, right?
Well, let me explain what happened. Why it was so well organized and so well funded. It was funded that way because the Rothschilds wanted to dilute the wealth and the power structure of the landed gentry in the British Empire. And that also translated further on down the road to they wanted to disrupt the power structure and the wealth structure, the generational wealth structure of monarchistic Europe. And it was movements like these guys in the Chartism and stuff that helped fund or that helped found the downfall of the monarchy in Europe. So,
well, it's a great way to consolidate power, right, and eliminate weaker structures, right?
well, you got the consolidating power part correct, and the elimination of weaker structures, because it introduced division into a society that was not divided.
Exactly. Just like what it does now. Like our politicians, you can't get a politician, no matter what side of the fucking aisle they fall on, to agree with any other politician to get anything fixed. There's a reason behind that. That's not what they're there to do. Their focus and their goal is division, and you cannot divide people if you fix problems. You just can't. Right?
Yep.
And I mean, if you give people liberty and freedom, this is why I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people state right now that in the U.S., at least you have your what is it, Declaration of Independence and stuff, and we have like a Charter of Rights here. But let's be honest, there isn't a politician out there that isn't willing to wipe their fucking ass with that and move forward on you the next day.
That's true. That's
so
true.
Why the fuck? Here's the thing. Why would you hold on to the idea that it makes sense or that, these laws are in place and serve a purpose when really they don't?
They do serve a purpose.
They're disposed of?
They don't serve the purpose that you want them to serve, but they do serve a purpose. And we'll get back to that in just a minute, because we haven't even gotten yet. Let's talk a little bit about Marx, because Marx, his grandmother, Nanette Solomon Barrett Cohen, married a guy named Nathan Meyer Rothschilds, and their son was Lionel Nathan Rothschild, and he was a member of parliament. At the same time, he was older than Marx, but he was head of the family, the Rothschilds family, the public head of it. The rest of the banking head of it was not a member of parliament, but he was the strong arm of the Rothschilds family. And the Rothschilds family controls the Bank of England, right? Now, the Bank of England was unique at the time because they were one of the few governments who could print their own money and say it had a value. It was one of the very first fiat currencies. It wasn't the first, but it was the biggest, supposedly silver standard currency out there.
Yeah, paperback.
And nobody challenged that because the British were so powerful militarily. Sound familiar? Sounds like it sounds like they did with their pound what's going on with the dollar right now.
Didn't one of the or a couple of the Rothschilds also marry into what is today the Klaus Schwab family?
They're all intermarried.
Yeah, they're all married. It was before the family was the Klaus Schwab family, but they did actually marry a couple of Klaus Schwabs in that same Rothschild family a little bit further down.
Yes.
I remember
right.
being told that.
Now this is the international money that funded the suffragette movement.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And our Shinobi Wan, you should hang your head in shame. New Zealand was the very first country in 1906 to adopt the suffragettes.
Ooh. Testing it out on the prison colony's first day.
And then it just snowballed from there. So now in 1920, the United States adopted the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think has happened since that time?
Nothing.
Can you list some changes that we've seen in society?
Well, I mean, we've seen them essentially turn everyone into a servant of the state, right? Which is to be expected. Even when you think you're free, you're a servant of the state. And they have essentially bribed half the population to turn against the other half of the population. The destruction of the nuclear family, which is a little more current, I know, but that's been going on for a long time.
In 1920, what was the divorce rate? Do you know?
The divorce rate in 1920? Holy fuck. 5%? 0? Somewhere in that field. I mean, divorces did happen, but they were extremely rare. I mean, people even like just plain up left, their spouses at the time and moved on, but still an actual divorce was never decreed.
The divorce rate in 1920 was 0.17%.
Yeah. So past the point of rare.
Right. And even more rare was the single mother.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that was incredibly rare.
The single mother rate in 1920 was 0.12%.
Yeah. What is it now? Like 99%? Are we
It
almost at
seems
100?
like it.
Well, I mean, like let's be honest. I mean, when was the last time? And I guess, yeah. I mean, when was the last time you met anybody that wasn't a single mother? Now, and I'm gonna say, like, guys, I draw a difference between being a single mother and just being a parent. Okay, so me and my kid's youngest son's mom, right? We're parents. Even herself. My ex-wife is a single mother. That's because she did everything in her power to cut me out of those children's lives. Right?
Yeah.
Where my youngest son's mom isn't like that. So I don't consider her a single mother. I just consider her a parent because she's not a single mother. She has a father for her child who has, interactions with their child. Big difference.
All right. By 1929, the divorce rate, because they started getting some female-friendly laws, the divorce rate went from 0.17% up to 2.9%.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to think, guys, that's a fucking huge number.
All right.
That what is it now? Do we actually know what it is now?
Let me look it up.
It's extremely high. We know that. We gotta get you a laptop.
I've got a laptop. I'm just I'm trying to read off the laptop.
Ah. Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be extremely high. Like, I mean, I know a
Well,
lot of people.
they try and break it down, and there's nobody giving out like just the one number.
Yeah, no, they're
The
trying to break
census
it down by
bureaus,
race, age.
wage earnings and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But it's around 60%,
60%.
right?
Uh,
So
but
that what that means is that if you're married, for during 1 year, there's a 60% chance that you'll get divorced in that year.
mm,
And that every year you have to face that same 60-40 split. Right?
right.
So
Oh, and that's only year one. They never count up too far usually, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I
well,
think if we were to take the honest numbers, right, of a divorce rate, and I'm going to give it up to a 5 year mark, without a doubt, the number is something more like 92 to 94%. Because, I mean, they only give the 50-50 one for like what, if you go over 10 years or 4 years or something like that, 2 years. It's something that doesn't make a lot of sense because nobody just gets married. Most people do not just get married and then get divorced within the same fucking year. It just doesn't happen that often. But now within the same 5 years, oh yeah, that happens a lot.
yeah, Rusty, I know a little about divorce too. Been there twice.
Yeah, no, never
And the
happened
second
twice.
one, I should have known better. I should have known better the second time around, but I lied to myself. I said, "Oh, you deserve a trophy wife."
she's different and she loves me.
No, I didn't even think along those lines. It's like, yeah, I
Well,
was treating her like a piece of furniture or a fast car.
out of curiosity, how long did your second marriage last compared to your first one?
Oh, the first one lasted 12 years, and the second one lasted 5.
Okay. Well, 12 years, I mean, fuck. Most people would consider 12 years now to be 2 lifetimes. No, that's the truth. That's not an embellished lie. Most people nowadays, you have to think about it. Like most people nowadays don't have relationships of any kind that last over 2 years. Can you imagine that? Like, Christ, I've got underwear older than some people's relationship statuses throughout their fucking lives, and they're in their fucking like mid 40s. Like, what the fuck? Your relationship experience with based on how long you've had a relationship or your longest relationship is literally fucking nothing. You know what I mean? That's nothing. uh I've had girlfriends for longer than fucking a year. Most
Yeah,
people's most people's dating experience right now, it's about a year to two,
if they're lucky
if they're lucky,
or unlucky.
whatever the case may be. But it's definitely it definitely doesn't prepare you for the long haul, right?
Well, it does and it doesn't. If you have your eyes open and you've taken the red pill and you're seeing that these relationships are just not lasting,
Mm.
and you're looking at yourself, you're having a series of short relationships. You look at your partners, they're having a series of short relationships. A wise man, which I was not when I was younger, would say, my God, we can't commit. Our goals in life are so divergent that there's no way that we'll be able to get along like my grandparents did until they died.
Yeah.
Or like my parents have done. My parents are coming up in 2 years. They will have been married for 60 years,
Yeah.
and
No,
that's just not going to happen anymore.
no. I mean, my dad passed away a couple years ago, right? But even now, they were still married longer than I was alive, than I have been alive to this day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Because they were your grandma wasn't go or your mom and dad weren't going to have a baby out of wedlock,
No,
because in their minds that was not done.
no. I mean, pretty sure that's where shotgun weddings were invented, was during their age.
Well, I'm
But
I'm pretty sure that before they had shotgun weddings, they had crossbow weddings.
yeah, possibly. But either way, like now marriage is well, I mean, going back to what this whole, suffragette thing, blah blah blah, and the whole sexual liberation, blah blah blah, because I mean it's all fucking nonsense anyway. All that is done is created generation after generation now of morally deprived people, right? Like right now, we look at 40 and 50-year-old people, not just women, but, mostly women, right? That are so lost when it comes to any sense of morals or values, that, there's nothing you can trust them with. You know what I mean? Like you can't trust them with your relationship. You can't trust them with your children. You can't trust them to fucking hold on to an empty paper bag with, dead rat guts spread on it. They will find some way to fuck with it, right? Like
Yep.
There's no, and I mean, really, let's be honest. The fact that the common person has held on to their morals as long as they have really is kind of like where a medal should be given, because I mean our government has given up on fucking morals. The morals were just tools used to convince you to fucking not shoot them. That was the fucking thing. Morals and values and stuff like that. That's all a fucking tool. Just like anything else, just like freedom or liberation or your rights or blah blah blah.
Let's get away from abstracts and talk about facts.
Mm-hmm.
In 1920, the murder rate was 9.7 homicides per 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay. That's tiny. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2020, let's see what the murder rate is.
Oh fuck.
All right.
Are we talking like U.S. wide, North America?
We'll go with U.S. wives.
Yeah.
Okay. 9.7 in 1920. Mm-hmm. We are now at 27.1 deaths per 100,000.
Yeah.
So
that's proven.
Yeah, that's
we're not counting
coming from that's coming from pewresearch.org, which is not a conservative website.
Yeah.
All right.
Basically, you can almost double it then. I mean, let's be honest.
More than doubled it. It more than doubled.
No, I know you can more than double, like, from the time frame. I mean, just based on what's being reported or recorded from their point of view or their statistics. I mean, there's a good chance it's probably double that in reality.
Yeah, probably, but I'm only going with the facts that I can see and read. I'm not going with what my gut feeling is on this.
No,
because as a Stoic, I have to deal with the facts in front of me.
Yeah. No, you can't really blame it on population increase either.
No, you absolutely
can't. I mean? If you carry on with the same values and principles and morals that you had or your grandparents had, right? The same number should reflect based on percentage, which is what they go off, is the percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing is a complete fucking decrease in all of those factors and a complete increase, almost a 1-to-1 correlation to basic fucking insanity. The murder rate in Canada, I know, is not high compared to some places, right? But to think that we don't have one is fucking insane. Like, even in the small area where I live, where everybody was a hippie, right? The missing persons list due to, like, possibly owing drug dealers money and stuff like that, and the murder rate was incredibly high. Like, incredibly high.
Plus, you've got a serial killer living down the road from you, so
that's just right here. I'm talking about on the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
let's look at another factor of society: how happy we are. Suicide is a good indicator of how happy people are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here in 2020, our suicide, we have 47.5 people per 100,000 killing themselves, which is double the homicide rate. So people are offing themselves at more. It's more than double the homicide rate. It's at almost twice the rate of people that are killing other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
And in 1920, let's see what our suicide rate was. In 1920, now this is at the beginning of the Great Depression now. Oh no, that's at the end of the 20s. So, but in 1920, the suicide rate was 12 people per 100,000.
yeah.
There was 9.7 murders per 100,000 and 12 people per 100,000 suiciding. So it was just fractionally higher than the murder rate.
Yeah.
Are we happier now?
Yeah.
I would have to say no, not even close.
Big fat no on that one, homie.
4 times greater suicide rate, more than double the homicide rate.
Yep.
Life has not gotten better. Life has definitely not gotten better in the last 102 years.
Yeah,
So
that's progress for you, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say that life in general has gotten better simply because, yes, every day is not to a wake up and struggle just to fucking find enough to fucking eat for a day. Right?
No, we don't have to worry about feeding ourselves anymore.
Right. So we've gotten rid of that, and we basically have a better healthcare system, obviously, until recently. So that
Medicine has improved.
Yeah, those hardships are gone, right? But we've completely fucking lost our focus and our self-sufficiency, and everyone is so fucking free. Or has so much free time that literally they've developed this "I'm just going to bitch" mentality. It's almost as bad as the victim mentality, right? Like, we have free time to bitch even right here. Sure, we got free time to bitch, but we're not
bitching
out
right now.
Yeah, but we're not out on the fucking streets fucking for days on end with fucking flags and tents and everything, bitching about fucking the migration of a bird population that we now are misidentifying and calling it an extinction. You know what I mean? Like, I've literally seen that where they've bitched about a bird that migrated to a new fucking area, right? Or I'm not sure what they call them. It's not a well, it might be population. We'll call it a population that used to live in this one area. They migrated away to another area not far away, and protesters came in and said that fucking we were killing off all the birds, and that's why they left that area, and they wanted them put on the endangered species list. Like, that's how fucked up it is. You got too much free time and not enough fucking hardships, and you become soft, doughy complainers. Right? It's what this whole fucking revolution, when it comes to the industrial revolution, or the sexual liberation revolution, they were all kind of done coincide with each other simply because we knew things were going to get easier. We knew things were going to improve, right? And now we have generations, we have full grown adults that literally do not understand how even the food system works.
All right. Well,
forget knowing how it's done.
Let's absolute knowledge seekers bringing up a stat, and his numbers are a little off. It wasn't 1 in 5. It was where the fuck I just had it.
You mean before
7.7 women died per 100,000 died in childbirth in 1920.
Yeah, that number is still there. It still happens, guys.
Well, the number now is 2.9 women per 100,000 die in childbirth. So
there you go.
it's gotten a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot better, but it still
7.7
happens.
per 100,000 is still, pretty, that's still a lot. But
And doctors
compare that to the 1600s, right? It was 600 women per 100,000.
Yeah.
In the 1600s.
Yeah. This was before they had C-sections figured out.
Before they understood about washing their fucking hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, that wasn't that long ago, guys. It was not that long ago.
Right. By 1920, they gotten sulfa drugs. They didn't have penicillin or anything like that, but they knew the principles of sterility.
Yeah.
So the death rate had gone way down compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, we have written documents of people working at prestigious fucking hospitals. Like the high-end echelons of hospitals. This was the fucking the pinnacle of healthcare at the time, where doctors didn't believe in washing their tools between using them for surgery or their fucking hands or their clothing. So they just go right the fuck in there.
Well, the surgeons were proud of their blood-stained aprons because it showed that they had done a lot of surgery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we figured that one out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hans Lendl. You improved the microscope enough that people could actually see fucking germs. Yeah.
Well, and there was Pasteur, right? He was the one
Pasteur,
who came up with germ
with
theory.
his research.
Yeah.
On pasteurization and making milk safe.
Well, germ theory itself came from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he literally wrote the penicillin, the book of germ theory, not just pasteurization. Yeah. So those were big advancements made not that long ago.
Right.
Yes, there is currently definitely nobody alive from that era, but they have only been dead for like maybe 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'm not a medical historian. I wouldn't know. I'm just reading some facts off the internet. But in my research, or in my not research, in my show prep for today's top on the 19th, I wanted to figure out what has changed in the last 100 years. And we are more violent. We are self-deleting at an astounding rate.
Yeah.
Right?
Debauchery is everywhere. All right.
Everywhere.
Basically, the worst parts of human nature are now running rampant.
Well, right is wrong. Wrong is right.
Yep. Sad times to live in, my man. Sad fucking times. I dread the fact that I have 4 children that are growing up in this era. If I could turn the clock back, I never would have had children because of the world they're about to grow up in.
Well, right. And here's a side note to the divorce, to the suicide rate. Okay. Last year, divorced men, there was 45,979 divorced men committed suicide.
Yeah.
Does anybody have their calculator? I want somebody to divide 45,979 by 365.
Oh, shit. So it was 45,979
by 45.
divided by
I mean, by
45.
365.
46.09. So
Now
basically
divide that by
640.
24.
Divide that by 24. Okay.
What's that?
1,920.
No, that can't be right.
What were you looking for the number on?
Let me pull up my calculator. I was trying to find out. Let's see, 45, 970. What did I say?
45,979.
All right. Divided by 365. That equals 125.9997 deaths per day. Now we're going to divide that number by 24. That means that 5.5 of your brothers out there are going to commit suicide every hour
In the U.S., without a
in the
doubt.
U.S.
Without a doubt.
5.5 of your brothers, excuse me, 5.25 of your brothers every hour are going to commit suicide. That's roughly one person every 18 minutes because of the way the laws are.
Yeah.
Because the laws have been set up to appease the women. Is
Well,
going
it's
is
not just
going to
Sorry, go ahead.
kill themselves.
It's not just to appease the women, it's to indoctrinate the women to keep them in power. It's just like the welfare state. The welfare state is nothing but a bribe, but it's a bribe for one sex. The family court is a way to extort money, right, to the local fucking administrations, right down to the city council or the state, right, and using men as the fucking scapegoats or the cash cows, right, to back it all up. And really, women are the ones that they are doing this to encourage to continue doing this and to add more numbers to their books so they make more money, right? And it also leads to
Drubius, my heart goes out to you.
it's also set up so that the next generation will be basically autonomous fucking drones that they can send to places like colleges and completely fucking brainwash.
And it's
Yeah.
getting worse, and it's
Yeah,
accelerating.
well, because it's getting easier. They want it to be easy. Indoctrination is hard generally. It's fucking hard to do. I mean, I can sit here with you for fucking hundreds of hours, right? Trying to convince you to do something evil on my behalf, right? Something that I want done, not something you want done, something I want done. And there's no fucking guarantee you're going to do it. But if I can send an entire generation of people into a fucking indoctrination school, right? Which is what all of these colleges are now, are fucking indoctrination camps. And they also have very little in the way of any kind of other support or male influence or any kind of fucking essentially roots to base morals off of or any kind of values off of. They're going to be super easy to convince. They're going to be super easy to indoctrinate, put into groups made to feel like they're part of a family now, right? Which is what these groups essentially do, is they basically turn them into like Almost like how gangs used to fucking turn, random fatherless children into family members. Oh, this isn't my gang, this is my family. That's
Well,
all these fucking places do.
Polska, you're a truck driver, right?
Polska does deliveries. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got a Class A license. When you do your Class A license, you have to take a course called Truckers Against Trafficking, and the the pimps make the underage girls that they kidnap and prostitute out part of their family, and they do the exact same thing. They look for girls who are fatherless, and that's very easy to find in usually a very poor neighborhood or something like that. And it doesn't matter what color your skin is. They'll grab you off the street, find some type of an angle to make you comply, and then bring you into the family and make you feel like you're part of just like they did with boys in the gangs. You become part of the gang, you're part of the pack.
Yeah.
Same thing happens to the girls too, but just on a different thing.
Yeah, and I mean that's just it. The governments saw how well this worked and they adopted the same thing. There's no
Right.
difference between a
But my,
government
my
and a
question for
mob.
Polska is have you done the Truckers Against Trafficking training? Go ahead, Chris. I'm just watching the chat.
Yeah, no, I was just stating that there's no difference between a government and a mob.
Yep.
Gang, whatever, the fundamentals, right, they use the same fundamentals. They use the same fucking, extortion tactics. They use the same threats. They use the same, well, not exactly the same, obviously. The mob will use death threats, right, or maiming threats, and the government will be like, I'll throw you in jail for the, whatever fucking however many decades. You know what I mean? For stupid
Yeah.
shit. Even if you try to expose a politician, or let's say, well, we've all seen it when it comes to like mayors and fucking police chiefs and stuff like that. There are hundreds of stories of people trying to expose corruption that they were a part of, all of a sudden find themselves in jail for very long periods of time for no crime other than the crime that the local law enforcement says that they've committed, which really is just a great way to put somebody away and keep them out of your fucking hair and stop them from, exposing your corruption, right? I mean, if you could put somebody away in a dark hole who disagreed with you or found some way that you had lied to people that you were, extracting resources from, why wouldn't you put them away in one of your government facilities? You know what I mean? Or even if they're privately owned prisons, um, they're really no different. They're just like former FBI agents or former CIA agents, right? That's
Yeah.
essentially what prisons are when they're privately owned. Oh, we don't control those. We just control the money they get, or we allow them to do whatever corrupt shit to get as much financial aid from us or as much financial incentive from us to continue on with what they're doing. It's
Well,
all about money.
with fiat currency, your savings can be wiped out every time they go through and print more money. It makes your savings less valuable. So wealth is just a matter of keeping score to those fucking guys.
Yeah, yeah, but when you have the an entire fucking city of government officials, police, mayor, governor themselves, whatever the case may be, all in on the same fucking plan, right? To sell drugs for the federal government without, anybody saying it's for the federal government. What chance do you think you have to expose their corruption?
Not much.
Not much at all.
Especially when the fifth estate is completely in their back pockets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I've mentioned
How long has it been since you saw any type of a news article, a mainstream news article critical of any progressive cause?
Yeah, probably ain't gonna see it ever again.
For me, it was the early 1970s.
No, I wasn't around.
It's the last time I saw it.
Yeah, I wasn't around in the 70s. So I guess
we had politicians in the 1980s and a political movement called the Moral Majority, which got fucked over because its leader turned out to be a scumbag. Pat Roberts, thank you very much, you dirty bastard.
That's just it. Most politicians are corrupt. Most police chiefs are corrupt.
The head of the conservative movement was Ronald Reagan back in those days. And what's Ronald Reagan most cursed for by most MGTOWs?
Oh, that would be the whole no-fault divorce thing, I believe.
That's right, no-fault divorce.
And didn't he come out and say it was the worst thing he had ever done?
That's correct, he did.
Yeah. So at least he was willing to admit to his biggest mistake. But okay, here's the thing though. Creating a new, I don't know, would you call that a law system or a setup of laws for a branch of the government or a branch of law? That's one thing. If you found out that Ronald Reagan shot 3 people in the head because he was shipping drug money over from Cuba or drugs over from Cuba, it'd be a little bit of a different story though, right?
Well, you would think so, but directly related to that, Ronald Reagan was the head motherfucker in charge, the HMFIC. When the CIA was running drugs from the Contras to pay for a source of funding to pay to give Iran, our mortal enemies, weapons to fight the Iraqis.
Yeah. There is literally nothing that is too far into the field of corruption.
Does the U.S. government run drugs? Yes, they fucking do.
And have for decades. For decades. They're running fucking drugs right now.
They only got caught in the 1980s.
Yeah. And
it doesn't mean that it started then.
But see, that's just it. They created all these separate branches and individual branches, and it, started saying that, oh, well, this group is a former, possibly insider, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. These were all created so that they can continue on with the fucking job to be done of funneling illegal fucking money around, right? Whether it be
they wanted to have a source of funding. They wanted to have a source of funding that was outside of normal government oversight.
Yeah.
They were, that was a rogue agency with the blessings of the executive branch. And it did have the blessings of the executive branch. Oliver North worked for Ronald Reagan directly.
Yeah. And he was involved in the Panama stuff too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But
But
Noriega, the
he
only
was there.
reason Noriega got deposed is he didn't want to. He got too big for his britches, and he didn't want to take orders like he was supposed to.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then they have to take out their puppet. It's always a sad day when you got to shoot your monkey, right?
Yeah.
Sad days.
The funniest part about Noriega's capture was Noriega was brought down by playing Barney, the Barney song, because when he originally escaped to the Vatican embassy,
Hmm.
and the U.S. troops surrounded the Vatican embassy, didn't go in, but they played at a high volume. I love you, you love me, we're a happy family, over and over and over again. And finally got too much for fucking Noriega, and he said, all right, I give up.
Yeah. No, I have to say the most disturbing one that I've found so far, and I mean, I know it's nothing when it comes to looking at like the corrupt fucking shit they do in foreign wars and stuff like that. Things we don't get to see, right?
Yeah,
And
but we're
generally,
getting a little off topic, Chris. We all know the government sucks,
oh yeah,
and the government sucks more than it used to before they passed the 19th Amendment.
well, I mean, they kill our kids for fun.
You know, the 19th Amendment was passed after the end of World War One.
Yeah, yeah. Still a tool though. It's still a tool. That's all it
Right.
was
So,
supporting the tool.
other than um, the United States Civil War, more people were killed in World War One than previously had been killed quicker. The United States wasn't even in World War One for very long, and it didn't suffer nearly as bad as like Britain did,
No.
or Belgium for that. They're still pulling fucking unexploded shells out of this farmland in Belgium.
Yep.
From World War One. They call it the Iron Harvest.
Yeah. There's a few places over there that you wouldn't say, had any fucking remnants of what looked like even an old battlefield right now. You can reach down and grab a handful of dirt and find fucking souvenirs from the war.
Yeah.
Just in a handful of dirt, no matter where the fuck you go. Just reach
So
down.
slaughtering us, by the windrow is nothing new.
Yeah.
That's not something that was caused by the 19th Amendment.
No.
The constant freaking war after war after war after war definitely is caused by the 19th Amendment, because they're peddling safety porn.
Yeah.
Or safety kabuki, whatever you want to call it. And they do that because half the voting bloc is afraid of everything.
Yeah. Why do you think they wanted them on the voting block? You can bribe them to fucking vote for you. You can fear them into voting for you. You can claim that, oh, if you vote for us, we'll give you these benefits, and then you won't be so reliant on your partner. Right?
Well, men can be bribed.
I know men can be bribed.
Historically, men have been bribed. Voting men have been bribed. The Romans wouldn't have invented bread and circuses if men could not be bribed.
I'm not saying men can't be bribed, but they are literally not trying to bribe us anymore.
But most of the time, men cannot be intimidated. At least my great grandfather's generation.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
it's
my great grandfather came over. He was like had nothing. He wasn't going to inherit anything in Switzerland, where my family comes from, and he came to the United States and died a millionaire.
well, I
He
mean,
died,
that's personally fantastic, and
you
men
know.
can be intimidated, but it's hard to enforce the same level of intimidation over an entire population of men. It is easier to bribe them through persuasion. You know what I mean? Which is what they did to women because it was cheaper and more women would sign up for it than men. If you were to try to bribe all men with, say, welfare programs just for men, right? You would get less of a fucking positive response than if you said, we're going to give welfare programs just for women. Just for
Well, they
women.
have welfare programs just for women.
That's why
It's
they
the
went
whole
with
reason,
women.
you know.
They were cheaper and easier to bribe in mass.
And it appeals to men to protect the women and to
Yeah,
use your tax dollars to protect the women and children.
right. But
That is that's in our basic natures.
you don't have
You
to
know?
be a genius to see
So
that.
you get a double whammy on that type of stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to be a genius to fucking see that if you were of a certain sex, right? Even with the illusion of saying that I have an entire army of men, aka the police. And if they don't do, I actually have an entire other army of men, which is an actual army, right? That my other fucking army of political fucking men, which would be the politicians, can all roll out just for me. Yeah, why wouldn't I vote for them? You know what I mean? It's a no fucking brainer. Women don't vote based on what's best for their society, what's best for their city, not even what's best for their household. They vote based on what's best for them.
Yep.
That's a fucking fact. And at best, if you can convince a woman that voting for like a Democrat or a liberal here, right, as detrimental to their overall best interest that is, if you could convince them, it takes next to nothing for somebody to come in and say next year, well, now we're going to sweeten the deal. You know what I mean? You'll constantly see them sweeten that deal. And let's say no women voted for fucking anybody this year. There would be fucking uproar, right? There, that's if you're actually doing a legit fucking voting system and not just ice cream social,
Yeah.
right? If you were doing a legit thing and every woman had to go out and vote based on a best interest, you would see, or sorry, if none of them went out and voted, you would see pots being sweetened everywhere, just to get them back next year or to get them back in 4 years. They would be doing everything. I mean, right now, the world's fucking on fire and everybody's gone insane, right? And politicians, they do fucking nothing to help the situation.
No,
And
they exacerbate the situation.
yeah, they're like throwing battery acid on an open wound. It ain't gonna feel good. But yeah, people are still turning out because they know that there's already programs in place that benefit them when they vote for certain politicians, right? And they
Yep.
don't need a husband anymore. They get to keep their husband's sons if they have any sons, right? Or son husbands, however that term goes.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a whole nother fucking disgusting idea right there.
Well, Look at the way women dressed in 1920. Just look at it. You were, on a good day, you'd see an ankle. Even in the summertime, long sleeves. Maybe if it was really hot, you might catch some curvature of the boob. If the woman was a slut.
Labeled as a harlot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
so
they
weren't, the people weren't going out and, there was cheating going on. That's never stopped.
No.
That's always been a part of life, but the rate of it was minuscule. You could go off to war and come back and be pretty certain that your wife hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
And they policed each other. And the churches policed everyone. There was morality because we were a moral nation, a God-fearing nation back then.
Yeah.
Even atheists like Thomas Jefferson weren't really atheists. They were more spiritualists.
Yeah. Even to call them agnostic at the time was probably an overstep.
Yeah. So, and society regulated itself without laws. They introduced the laws to regulate society, and society went to hell. And a lot of the quote unquote freedoms we have now are excuses for degeneracy. The whole line that they added in the Civil Rights Act of 1963, where they put sexual orientation in, opened the floodgates. Just opened the floodgates for the worst degeneracy I have ever seen. I've been alive for 55 years now. And when I was growing up, there was maybe, you'd hear about homosexuals, but there was no furries. There was, nobody was, there weren't women openly talking about having sex with their dogs because the dog has a good dick. That was,
that was shameful. That wasn't even 10 years ago, and that was fucking shameful.
We had in my town that I grew up in, we had a priest molest a retarded girl. And her family found out about it, cut his dick and balls off, and threw him in the ditch by the hospital. And they got sentenced for the assault, but they got to serve their sentence on the weekends. And they would go into the sheriff's office at 11:59 on Saturday night, and the sheriff would let them out at 1:01 on Sunday morning.
And call it a full day.
And call it a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
people.
That's different. That's what we would consider, most normal people would consider that justice. But see, that's another thing that the whole control.
But it reminds me of a joke.
Oh God, that reminds you of a joke?
Oh yeah. What's the difference between a Catholic priest and Acme?
And Acme or Acne?
Acme, zits.
Oh, Acne. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Well, Acme won't come onto your face until you're a teenager.
Oh God. Oh my God. Dude. Oh, that's nasty. Oh
So
my God. You're a sick fuck.
now what's really sick is the fucking priests, because if they hadn't done that fucking bullshit, if they hadn't molested children for fucking probably hundreds of years before they got busted, that wouldn't be a joke.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing about the dark humor, is there's fucking truth to it.
Well, that's how humor should be. I mean, even Terrence Popp mentioned it tonight. He's like, comedy, when it was good, it had a hint of truth in it. You know what I mean? And
aerodynamics, you're right. Public school teachers do rape more than Catholic priests.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. The depravity. Not that this never happened before, right? And generally, yes, used to be mostly male teachers, but right now, female teachers are raping their students and getting away with it. And
right.
It's just becoming a fucking everyday event.
You're right. It is an everyday event. And here's the sick part. All right. There is a 7% conviction rate. But even with a 7% conviction rate, this year, 2022, in the United States, there has been one teacher convicted every day of the year for molesting.
Yeah.
With a 7% conviction rate.
So that means that there's fucking like 13 of them a day that are just getting away with it?
Yep.
Per day.
That's exactly what it means.
And it's not male teachers. These have got to be female teachers.
It's
male
both.
Male teachers generally get like fucking 20 years.
Well, there aren't that many male teachers anymore.
Yeah. Okay. There's another fucking, shift in the paradigm, right? Is there aren't nearly as many male teachers now as there was fucking 20 years ago.
Right. There really aren't.
Yeah, I mean, where my school was, actually, I would say I had a good mix of at least 75% of my teachers throughout my life were male, right? So about that 25 to 30% were female teachers.
Now, well, I can only think of one of my teachers in high school that I actually wanted to have sex with.
Yeah,
that was my geometry teacher. It's when I was a junior. Oh my God, she was hot.
Mine was French teacher. Yeah, she was hot.
I know a few.
Holy fuck, who's here now?
Absolute knowledge seeker.
Oh, brother knowledge seeker. What kind of knowledge you got for us tonight, my man?
I mean, on this topic, okay, I mean, let's see.
The topic is the anniversary of the 19th Amendment being passed. What can what type of changes can you point out between 1920 and 2022?
It all went downhill.
Well, no shit.
Downhill. I think 1960s, the hippie sexual revolution. It started.
Yeah.
It probably had a lot to do. Probably had a lot to do with the freedoms and just the vote. It was just a start.
Well, do you think that there would have been the mass usage of the birth control pill if the 19th Amendment hadn't passed. Because the sexual revolution was an outgrowth of the availability of effective, cheap birth control available to the masses.
You're talking about pills, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the birth control pill, the pill.
When did the condoms? When were condoms a reliable thing?
Condoms have been reliable for a long time.
Yeah.
They used to call them, back in Queen Victoria's time, they used to call them French letters.
Or sheep covers? Or sheep
Yeah, well, the sheep ones weren't that effective, but when they
latex?
when they got figured out how to make latex, yeah.
I'm curious when they figured out how to make latex. I'm kind of curious about that.
Well, that happened about the same time that they figured out how to make cellophane. So that would be 1870 or so.
Yeah, so these whores, and so these three, yeah, and so these harlots were in full gear, or these harlots they had plenty of time to experience some condoms.
Yeah, but nobody likes condoms, you know.
But I mean, you got to remember that that was from a time where, like, yeah, brothels existed, right? Whorehouses, stuff like that. That's totally still
Oh yeah,
a thing.
they don't call it the oldest profession for no reason.
Exactly. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I know some people have a different opinion of it. Me personally, if it were up to me tomorrow, I'd make prostitution legal everywhere and insist that every city had a brothel.
Yeah,
Because
Rusty, come on in.
it's
If
better
you got
to
a thing
know.
to do to add, Rusty, please join.
Hoes gotta eat.
Well, hoes got to eat, but it's better to
Hoes
know
gotta
that
eat, bro.
everybody's protected that way, right? At least to the best of our abilities. Everybody's protected. All right. Nobody's getting fucked in a bad way unless you literally managed to get in there, get that piece of ass, and didn't have any cash. You know what I mean? Right now, all of society is fucked, and not in a good way, because we're not even fucking that much. We're not even partnering up that much. Our society will come to an end eventually because of the simple fact that we don't have a good replacement rate. And the replacement rate we do have generally gets thrown through a fucking family court extortion hut, right? So somebody else can profit off the fucking torture of you and your children. And they grow up more fucked up than they could ever be, and or than any parent could ever make, right?
Yep. Well, welcome Rusty Rivers to the show.
What up,
Hey,
brother
True
Rivers?
Blood. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming. You
Glad
said
to
you
be here.
had a couple of things to add. Let's hear it.
For 10,000 years, our society and civilization was governed by men who looked after what was going on with women and our children, our daughters, and our wives.
Yep.
It was the church. It was the neighbors. It was the folks down the street. There was a sense of shaming that was part of what was going on. And this was the way that it was for 10,000 years.
Absolutely.
And then in 1964, the pill came to market. And for the first time in 10,000 years, women got in control of their birthing process. Before that, we were in control of the birthing process. And in 1964, that is the day that everything changed.
Yep.
That's definitely true.
one of the starting points, definitely. And like I said, when you can bribe an entire sex by essentially replacing the father, the husband, the man of the community, right? Or men plural because of the church and whatnot. And, you know, bribe the other sex to say, well, we'll take over for them and you can do whatever you want. Anything you want to do, you can do. There was nothing they couldn't do prior. Personally, I thought. But yeah, it was just selling them on the fucking idea of a liberation when really it was signing their own fucking death warrants. Right?
But not
Right
just
now.
their death warrant, signing
no.
society's death warrant.
Yeah, everyone's. I mean, we can't do this alone. You know what I mean? The three of us. Oh, where'd Rusty go?
Rusty dropped out.
Well,
He
okay,
said his
so
piece and left, which is
three of
great.
the three of us men are never going to procreate together, right? It's not.
I certainly hope not. I'm not going to try.
It's not fucking possible. So if we can't fucking get things back under control, right, to where people are continuously in the family unit and men have control over the family unit to keep things continuously going, because most men don't give a fuck about your feelings. We give a fuck about everybody living to see another day, right? That's generally where we focus on.
When I was a full-time husband and father, I was thinking in terms of generations.
Yeah.
I was, you know, the way I figured out my ex-wife was cheating on me was on my birthday. I tried to have a talk with my ex-wife about planning for the future. And she didn't want to plan for the future. And I figured out the reason she doesn't want to plan for the future is because she doesn't see a future with me.
Well, not only that, most of them can't see.
Not only that, that's what it was.
Yeah.
She didn't see a future with me because she was already fucking one of my friends.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a little bit too late. But let's be honest. Most women right now cannot fucking look past tomorrow. They can't predict or visualize or understand, you know, looking forward, right? They look at the now and how do I feel right now? Not what the fuck is going on right now. How things are sustainable right now, or there'll be a tomorrow. They just look at the right now. And if right now they fucking aren't happy, they're gone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're gone in an instant. They're
and
not.
they don't, you know, and it's worse than that because they don't plan for the future. They only consume for the present.
Yeah.
They don't leave a legacy.
No.
Generational wealth is going to be a thing of the past.
Well, it's as I stated, they only look at themselves. How does this benefit me? Not how does this benefit my household, my community, my country? They look at me right now because there's no us tomorrow. That's what we were for, guys. I'm sorry to say, there's a reason we're like that. It's because that's the shit we were fucking meant for. That's why we led the fucking tribes. You know what I mean? We led the pack. We led the fucking hunts. We led the tribes. We led the communities, and we led the people under us. Not because we
Amen, Chris.
Not because we were tyrants, but because that's what we're fucking for.
Yeah.
Just like a hammer is not there to jerk you off, a man is not there to fucking worry about your fifis today. He's there to make sure you're alive tomorrow. But if there is a hammer out there that jerks you off, please, guys, send a link.
God, you just gave me an awful fucking vision.
Wow. It can't be too bad compared to the visions that come with your fucking jokes. You're sick.
Who's our favorite hammer?
No. Oh God. Oh God. He'd rip your dick off.
No, no, no.
Don't tell him
I
I
don't
said that. But yeah, that's the fucking truth of it, man. Right now, we don't fucking know our own neighbors. Right now, we don't trust our neighbors because we can't trust our fucking neighbors anymore.
No.
No, we can't.
Can't trust our own family.
No, we
There's too many
can't.
normies.
Yeah. Here's the thing. How do we build a successful community with one person?
We can't trust our families. We can't trust our neighbors because we can't trust our women.
Yeah. Because we've allowed fucking all of this corruption to grow like cancer. There isn't a part of our fucking government that isn't fucking full of corruption. There isn't a part of our fucking school system. There isn't a part of our church. Our churches are fucking loaded with corruption. If you ask me, you could probably go back far enough and see how the church is literally created around corruption, right? Corruption
That is correct.
and power. So
Yeah.
all the things that we would say is good, we've allowed corruption to fucking twist it to its fucking desire. Just like the internet. The internet was created out of good intentions, and now it's completely fucking corrupted.
Can I say something, True Blood?
Go for it, man. That's why you're on.
In Africa, years ago, in a lot of the primitive communities, you know, we're talking about very, very primitive people still living in huts. They lived like this forever. And then some good-hearted liberal organizations came in and decided to bring them in electricity and bring them in televisions. And for the first time, when those folks turned those televisions on, they got to see the West.
Yeah.
They got to see how we lived, how we had houses, how we had vehicles, how we had restaurants and our entertainment. And for the first time, these people were looking at how we lived, our lifestyle. And you know what happened? They became jealous. They became resentful. They started looking at their own lives and saying, we don't have this. And you see, that is exactly what happened when the internet came online for women. They started looking at all these people's lifestyles and they started wanting, and they became unhappy.
And most of it was fake.
That's correct. It was
Instagram
an
Models,
illusion.
yeah, they sell you the illusion of this glorious lifestyle to young women, and now that's what they believe they all should have, right?
Yeah.
We have young women right now. Okay, I'm talking young, like 14, 16 to 18 kind of level, with such a hypergamy level that is so fucking high that is literally unobtainable. Because they look at Instagram and they think, well, these young women are getting sent to Dubai and places like that and hanging out on beaches and drinking champagne and wearing
right. They're just not showing them getting shit on you.
Yeah, they're not showing the other side of it. They're showing glamour, right? Over, she's been brought over by some fucking guy in Dubai to fuck the ass off her. And you know what I mean? Like,
centipede style.
She's paying a price, but it's a price that they are not even shown. So I've mentioned to you guys a few times about my former employee / former business partner, young guy, right? 20 years old, prime of his life. Literally, this kid is a millionaire in waiting. Not because he has to work for it, but because he's about to inherit it, right? When his grandma dies. Not that I want her to die. Sydney's a wonderful person. I love her to death. But he's 6'4", built like a fucking linebacker, right? Naturally built like a linebacker. Good looking guy. Sitting on a couple million cold cash for sure. Girls that have nothing ask him on Tinder, well, you're good looking and you're rich, but what else you got? What else do you bring to the table? You know what I mean?
Tickets and Cheerios.
Yeah. What else do you bring to the table? It's like chick, and I saw this chick on his Tinder profile because he kept the fucking message. This girl is like a 4 all day long. She's a 3 when she takes off her makeup.
Oh,
She's short, she's fat, she's average looking, right? Fucking her family background from what she described as garbage. So she's got definitely no morals or ethics or values or potential girlfriend material, potential wife material, nothing. And
Ran the
she's
fuck through.
Yeah, most likely ran the fuck through because she's 18 or something, 19. And she's asking this perfectly well-maintained, very polite, strong young man. Well, could be stronger, but, lifestyle. He grew up in a single mother household. But anyway, the world is literally his oyster. And she's looking at him and saying, what else can you bring to me? Do you run a country? Do you own an island that I can go hang out on? Like, what do you bring in here? You know what I mean? Like, where's the limit? When she brings absolutely fucking nothing.
No.
I can add something to that.
Go ahead.
I have acquired a vast amount of wealth in my life.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. When I was in my early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from college and I started teaching. I taught world literature, history, and ancient Latin. And then one day, when everybody else had gone and they put everybody's paychecks into the closet where we had all our boxes, I got really curious one day, and I went and I took a little sneak peek at one of the coach's checks. Now, I had known that he had been there teaching and coaching for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a little peek at his check. And I said, oh no, because I know how long he had been working at the school, how long he had been teaching, and how long he had been coaching. And I decided I've got to go into something different. And the following year, I managed to buy my first property. And I was, at that time, I was 26 years old. Ever since then, that's all I have done is buy properties.
Yeah.
And 25 years later, I have 22 properties that amount to 50 units. And I rent them out. And that's all I do. And that's all I ever been doing.
Yeah. Dude, property ownership, and I literally there's a demand for rental properties that'll never end, right? Most
Correct.
people now. But like even myself, I was very close to owning my first property and its location wasn't great. It wasn't where I was going to be, but I was literally going to buy it on the cheap and rent it out and then just live somewhere else and continue on working until that property was basically paid for. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And
I know
then,
exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And then, of course, when COVID hit, all of our fucking construction work went straight down in the fucking toilet. Right now,
Yeah.
I have to fucking, at the end of August here, and I've mentioned it to, I think, a few of the guys, but at the end of August here, once the guys are done with their visit, I literally have to pack up what I fucking need and move on because there is no fucking work in this area for me. So
Right.
it's an unfortunate fucking thing, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I have to go start over somewhere else.
Yes, sir. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and
Been there, done that. It sucks, but you'll live.
yeah, like I said, it's going to be most likely an area I don't want to be in. I'm going to be away from my youngest kid, which, you know, always puts me in a bit of a anxiety state just because of my ex-wife. But don't worry, I have cachet stored around where if she tries to do anything with the family courts, I will personally put an end to her. Right? You know, but we've been over that. We've been over that a few times. But I ain't going through fucking family court ever again. Fuck that. Nope.
When I got my divorce, when I started going through my divorce, I got lucky. I'm not that smart, but I am consistent.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I did early on when I started buying my properties is after about the fourth or the fifth house, I, employed an attorney who specialized in real estate.
Mhm.
And I told him that, hey, I'm a little bit worried about some of these tenants suing me. And so what he did is he referred me to a CPA. And then that CPA created an S corporation.
Mhm.
And then in that S corporation, the CPA then converted my properties at that time into individual LLCs. And then she put those LLCs into the S corporation.
Which protects
And then
you.
and then she separated me from any ownership directly of the S corporation through a trust fund where there was a trustee who was my attorney. You following me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When my wife went to divorce me, her and her attorney and the judge, they got very upset because there was no way for them to connect me to those properties.
Exactly.
I only received a small salary every single year. And the judge even threatened me to throw me in jail if I would not convert my properties back into my own name. And I told him, you, sir, could go to hell.
Yeah, because he legally can't do that. But the only reason he probably suggested that is because he wasn't there as a judge. He was there as a magistrate.
That is correct.
Not as a judge. So he technically wasn't in a courtroom as a
He
judge.
wanted to get his cut.
But he wanted to trick you or try to scare you into handing over those assets. But once I take a sole proprietorship, which is what you started off with, right? Because you were the owner, manager, you were the company then, right? On a sole proprietorship.
Correct.
So if I were to say break my hip on your stairs or something at your property, I sue you directly because your insurance company should protect you. When you're in a corporation or a limited business, I believe in the U.S. you guys have limited and corporation, right?
Yep.
Limited but
and partnership.
You only have access to the equity of the property where the occurrence took place. You can't domino effect me.
No, but that's just it. In a corporation, you're still protected.
Correct.
With the company, you are not the company. You're not Rusty the company.
That's correct.
The company, right? And you're just like an employee. Like you said, you take a yearly salary, right? So once you're in a limited company, I don't control or be, use the money for my own frivolous needs. I take a salary from the company.
That's correct. That's what I do.
And if you
Yep.
want to sue my company, you go right ahead. Sue the company.
Yep.
I'll let you tie it up in court. I'll go start another company and continue on with business as usual while you're tied
Yep.
up in court with the fucking limited company over there. And me, Chris Mitchell, is walking away.
You know what I did to celebrate? Do you know what I did to celebrate the end of my divorce?
Hookers and blow?
I bought a big freaking yacht.
Nice. Nice. Did you send your ex-wife pictures?
Oh, she knows. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. As long as you got to rub it in.
Yeah, it's in my avatar, my little avatar that everybody usually sees. But yeah, I bought a 60-foot Hatteras.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Screw the judge and my wife.
Yeah, you should have sent pictures to the judge.
I did.
Oh, perfect. Hey, look, here's something else you can't fucking have, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Well, Rusty, I'm looking forward to when you take that thing around the world and you can have the MGTOW World Cruise.
Actually, do you know what its name is?
Nope.
It is the Super MGTOW 60.
That's beautiful.
You know this guy.
That's beautiful.
You know this guy. Ben Mala on YouTube. Have you heard of this guy?
Ben Mala?
Ben Dover?
Benjamin Mala.
Oh.
He's a real estate guy in Florida. He's a real estate guy I think in Tampa. And I first heard about him. He has a yacht. He would have like these. This guy is worth supposedly $250 million net. He was getting interviewed about how do you make money. And then he had like these. He had these 18-year-old like big tit fat ass. These 18-year-old big tit fat ass Florida thoughts on his yacht. I would bang all of them.
You know what? I try to keep up, as best as I can. But there are a few millionaires that are amongst us. One of them, of course, is Mr. Pliskin. Probably another is Timothy Sokol.
Probably.
Yeah, because I even asked myself, if let's say, you're, it doesn't even matter too much like how old you are.
Oh, I'm about the same age as True Blood.
Yeah, like if you got a yacht, I don't know what state you're from, but you got a yacht.
Originally, I'm from Miami, but right now I live right on the Gulf of Mexico. I'm in Mississippi, in between New Orleans and Biloxi, and I take my ship out all the time.
Yeah, like if you go to Florida, it's probably. I don't know what they're trying to. I don't know. I don't know if these girls are just trying to get a free boat ride or they're giving up some ass.
Look, I could give you all kinds of stories about freaking rail candy waiting for me when I come to the docks in the morning to take my boat out.
Yeah, they want to get some Instagram photos on your boat.
Exactly. They all want those damn selfies.
They want some dick too, though?
No, they have to take dick for entry fee.
they just want some photos, or they want some fucking some champagne and to get bent over.
Everything.
No.
Yeah. Well, we have gone a little bit off topic, but that's okay.
Just a wee bit.
You know, it's amazing to me in 100 years how just polarly opposite our society has gotten.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Well, on that note, True Blood, can I add this?
Yeah, go ahead.
As a former history teacher, I see so many parallels between the demise of the ancient Rome
Yeah.
during the height of the empire. Transsexuals, perversions, baby killing.
Yeah, it's Nero all over again.
Yeah. Over taxation, the overreach of state government, insane leaders. This has all happened before, and it will all happen again.
A truer statement has never been made, because it has happened. Different time, different fucking, outcomes, different amount of people, different faces, but it's all the same. We've been here before. We're going straight to fucking hell again, and we're gonna come back out of it again. And it definitely ain't gonna be no transgender fucking leading the way. It will be men rebuilding society. It will be men reconquering the fucking world and putting down these, warlords and shit that will pop up, right? And
correct,
it will be men that will allow corruption to take over again.
Look what happened to ancient Sparta. The most manly, most militaristic, most nationalistic, most patriotic country in ancient Greece. The very moment that they started including women into the decision making of the state, they were done for.
Dude, it's like cancer. Starts off small.
It is cancer.
Yeah, it's small, but it spreads like wildfire, and it fucking destroys everything. It's just like what I was saying about, those female traits, those feminist traits coming into the manosphere, like gossiping and fucking backstabbing and name calling. That's cancer. And we saw the damage it did in a week. You know what I mean?
By the way, True Blood.
Yep.
I have zapped that damn celibate scorpion 3 times trying to sneak her ass into Gone with John String. Yep. She's freaking everywhere. She thinks that she could just keep on coming in. And
I don't know why she even bothers.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Well,
she's not the only one either.
No, but now that we're on that topic, look at those people that were mentioned recently, like Just Pearly Things, and what was the other one? The True Feminist Way? True Feminist Way or something?
Fem Sapien.
Whatever the case may be. They all explode. They take our talking points and our messages, regurgitate it with their brand, and they explode on the fucking web, especially on places like here in YouTube, right?
Yeah, and let me also add that Just Pearly Things and Fem Sapien, they are business partners, okay? They have created a business model that is a hybrid between Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. Yeah. And they are stealing our young men's money.
Yeah, real Fem Sapien. That's the one, the little Filipino or Italian chick. I don't know what she is, but yeah. nothing but fucking chameleons, right? Nothing
Correct.
but
She's chatted up.
and
Yeah.
72,000 subscribers in a night. And
I
now
heard she's chatted up, and she's a former salute.
well, it probably is. But either way, they come in like I said, that's what a chameleon does. Chameleon can take on any face, right? Any genre, any political stance, any face that they want. That's what chameleons do. But yet they're supported in this, and not only that, it's as True Blood has stated many times before. Men flock to them looking for that female validation, right?
Correct.
Faster than they will ever flock to a male role model for validation.
That's for
They
sure.
are making so much money
Yeah.
off of our young brothers. It absolutely sickens me.
Well, that real Fen Sapien, I think it is now charging $250 for a private consultation.
Exactly.
So she has a program now, guys. It's just not $1,500 or $3,000 up front. Hey, you can pay me $250 and come hang out with me anytime.
Hey, trust me. They ain't Rollo Tomasi ain't got nothing on these bitches.
No, Rollo Tomasi was kind of like the original.
I'm just happy that I refuse every donation that I'm offered, and I get offered, every time I have one of these live streams, I'll have one or two people want to donate to me, and I'm like, save your money. I don't need it.
Give them my PayPal.
Well, that's too bad for you because I would donate to
Chris,
you,
but if somebody's taking money, they lose the purity.
Well, that's just it, though.
Time is money.
Yeah, and like I said, when the guys were donating this month for when Eric and One Fast Act come out, that's what that's going for. It's not going to me. You know what I mean? Like these people,
right? But you're not charging $250 an hour for a
I'm saying if you want to hang out and shoot the shit, and I'll regurgitate the same thing that I would regurgitate for free, rather than give it to fucking what's her name, Real Fen Scorpion, whatever.
Yeah,
you give it to someone who cares.
Well, True Blood,
hang out.
you ought to have some avenue so that the True Believer brothers can feel as though they are contributing to your cause. Because let me tell you something, sir. Your channel is saving men's lives. And that is something that needs to be contributed to.
That's value, though.
That's correct. That is value.
No, here's the thing that I've been saying for a while. There is no woman out there, right, that I can sit down and have the exact same conversation with about men's problems as I can with you guys that will understand it. They can't understand it, just like they can't teach men to be men because they don't fucking know it. They've never lived through it. They don't have our life experience. They don't go through our fucking problems. They don't fucking know what it takes to be an actual man anymore. They don't even know what a woman is.
Well, ugly bitches.
One of the things. Oh, go ahead.
Well, ugly bitches, they have similar problems.
Okay.
Well, ugly bitches, they gotta bust their ass too.
I don't care how fucking ugly she is or how fat she is. She can go out to a bar tonight and take home a guy. She can go on Tinder and find at least one guy to come fuck her. Here's the thing. Even if she fucks those guys, none of them are taking her to court next week for fucking regret sex rape.
You're exactly right, sir.
But you, motherfucker, can definitely go there.
Well, here's the way I look at the financial recompensation. I don't need the money. I got plenty of money. What I would like the brothers to do, if they want to pay me back, is pay it forward. there's all kinds of ways you can help your brothers out.
Yes, sir.
And there are needy people in the manosphere. There are people that are living in their cars that have just gotten out of a divorce because they can't afford rent right now. You know, there are people here who are still paying off their divorce lawyers because they've gotten fucked so hard. There's guys that are going to jail because they can't afford to pay their child support. Help those guys out. I don't need the money.
What a coincidence. I have all three of those. I'm actually leaving at the end of the month.
Chris.
Probably go live in my car because I can't afford anything here. I have to leave my son. I got 3 kids in the States that I can't afford to fight for anymore. And they want to take 40 grand from me or put me in jail. It's like, fuck you all. Eat my
True Blood, let me say this. I'm not tooting my own horn here. There are a handful of guys like me who have been operating behind the scenes for quite some time. And we have been helping out a lot of the brothers and a lot of the channels. Okay? It's been happening. Nobody knows about it.
That's good. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Men helping men is something that doesn't happen enough, right? And when you see these women come on here and start regurgitating the same fucking things that we talk about with each other for free, and the first thing they try to do is sell it to them, you get a bit brokenhearted over the fact that there are so many that can't see the chameleon for what she is. I mean, it's possible that this what was her name, Real Femme Scorpion or whatever, right, is being coached by her so-called husband on what to say for talking points and what to put out there, right?
He's a business partner.
Yeah, and she's the face. She is the poster child. Because I mean, like I said, the female validation that some men still very deeply desire, right? Because the community is gone, the household is gone, right? The father system is gone. The social society has broken down. Like, we don't know our own neighbors, and in most cases, our neighbors are generally our worst enemy, right?
Yeah.
So that's gone. Community right down to your next door neighbor is completely dissolved. So they're looking for validation wherever they can find it. And when a pretty young face gets on there and tells you, guess what? After 20 years of being told that men are nothing but trash and fucking down with the patriarchy and blah blah blah, I'm gonna tell you that as a man, you're a good person and you deserve to be loved and treated with respect. And holy fuck, watch them flock to it.
Yeah,
it's nice to hear. Hey, it's nice to hear that you guys are cared about, right? Even if you have no interaction outside of our fucking chats, isn't it nice to hear that somebody cares about your well-being, even if it is your brother on here?
Did you guys watch Hammer's stream tonight?
I did.
Yes. But I was
all of the simping that was going on.
I was wrenching Gone with John's stream at the same time, so I was jumping back and forth.
Oh my God, I could not believe the sheer amount of simping that was going on in a monk channel.
Yeah.
These women get on there, get in chat, and there was like one of them, I can't remember which one it was. They were talking about being 50 and 50-year-old women, because they had him and Chronic were making fun of this this mother of the lady who cucked her husband.
Oh God! Oh my God!
And made me throw up.
Yeah, that poor guy.
Woman, this woman in chat says, "I'm 50 and I'm beautiful," and five brothers told her, "Yes, you're beautiful."
Thou shalt not simp.
Right in the middle of Hammer's stream, they were doing it. They're
I
fucking.
I know.
It's like Pavlov's dogs.
I remember who you're talking about. I cannot remember her name though. I have heard it a few times in chat, but I can't remember her name. But she was talking.
You're not talking about Davina, are you?
No, not Davina.
No.
Okay.
There's a question whether or not Davina is actually a female.
Yeah. This is the woman who was also talking about her husband, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, all of them are like that, Chris. They all talk about their husbands, but
Yeah.
why the fuck they're on, chatting with a bunch of men all the time?
It just like
they can't be good women if. Just like good mother's not a fucking good mother. She's on fucking stream all day long, and what's her kid doing? He isn't getting any mothering. She's not a good mother because she fucking divorced her husband. Sorry.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, then they'll all tell you, oh, my ex-husband was a bad person because this, that, and the other thing. And it's all the same story. Every fucking single one of them. You can't believe the goddamn word that comes out of their mouths.
Yeah, but see, when have you last heard from a woman that her ex was good? Oh no, our ex.
You'll never hear that.
It was me that was the problem, or like things. Even if they said like we just fell out of love type of thing, and we just wanted to move on with other people, I could accept that. The chances of you hearing that though are so fucking low. It's not even funny.
That's true, Chris.
He was abusive. Why? Because these fucking things require no proof to back it up.
No.
Right? And even if they can produce proof, my neighbor can call the police right now and say that I was abusive to her, right? And I'm going to fucking jail. That's not
true.
Proof. That's a lie that just gets fucking inflated and put through as a fucking truth. Right?
That's true.
So yeah, but they all.
Let me say this, True Blood.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a Good Mother fan. Okay. I appreciate Good Mother for the research, the collection of data, and all the statistics that she puts together. And a lot of content creators go over there, and
yes,
they use her data and statistics. Okay, and so in that regards, I pay my respects to Good Mother. And
yeah, I don't have any problem with her methodology.
Yeah, and you know what? This is what I say, because look, I was in the stream when One Fast Dak came in on your stream and everything. I was there. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All of us don't like seeing us brothers fight. Okay, and I love you. Not in the homo way, but yeah.
Well, Brandon figures I just want everybody to go around singing "Kumbaya" with each other, but that's not
exactly.
But you know what? Dak and I had our words, and then we're back to being buddies again. So
exactly. You know what? We're all gonna go and have a damn beer afterwards. We love each other. We support each other. And that is what it's all about.
Yeah. And, I agree. I appreciate what Good Mother does with her collection of data and putting it out there as a woman. But let's just be honest. When you come down to the very nitty gritty of it, right? If she believed in the actual system and practiced what she preached, she would either still be married or would be remarried again.
Well, I can say this. She's the only woman that I know that's in support of repealing the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
At least that's what she says.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
The question is, does she vote?
She also wants to be a part of my empire, and there will be no unmarried women in my empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that damn 19th Amendment has destroyed our country. It has destroyed the West.
Oh, 100%. It was,
And it was all funded
yeah. Well,
by
that's
the
just
By the
it.
fucking
Rockefeller.
big banks.
By the Rockefellers.
It helps
Nope,
weaken.
Gender studies.
Rothschilds.
It weakens strong men's position, right? Favors for women's superiority, and women are easily convinced in mass or defeated. If they will never have to draw a gun on an army of women, never.
No.
But if you have men who will not tolerate this shit no more, right? Let's say, just for an example, and we're just going to use family court. If every guy that was fucked over in family court picked up a rifle, went outside of a courtroom, and fucking started pulling the trigger, how many family courts do you think you would have in operation tomorrow? A big fat
Exactly.
fucking zero. They would be
Zero.
annihilated and wiped out, and no one would want to fucking take the next position because they
Nope.
know that the system only works if they're corrupt. And the corruption is what got you the fucking guys shooting everybody outside the family courtroom.
I am
Therefore,
sick
done.
and tired of women voting millions of men's lives to be strewn across this entire globe.
Well,
Destroyed. Children
With-
as well.
with the self deletion rate after divorce, I am surprised that there isn't a lot more proactive anti-divorce courting.
Freedom seed
But-
planters.
I had to leave the United States after my first divorce, not because I wanted to go overseas and score a bunch of tail. I had to leave because I didn't want to go to jail for doing something stupid.
Amen.
I was this close on a large number of occasions to go in Minecraft,
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
not alone.
where I took myself away from the situation. I gave all my guns to my brother to hold on to me, just because I didn't trust myself to own a gun for fucking 5 years.
You're not alone, buddy. You're not alone. And
Yeah.
you know what?
I wasn't thinking about self-deleting. I was thinking about deleting other people.
Yeah.
And
Well, True Blood, let me say this. Thank God that you are here with us today, sir. We are much better with you here than you not.
well, thank you. I
Could've
feel the
used
same way
the-
about all of you guys too.
We could have used a few less judges and stuff though in the family court. So
Well,
just FYI.
when you're seriously, if you're as serious as I was, you don't make those kind of statements lightly.
No.
And you don't brag about it either.
Oh no, I mean, Hammerhand asked me a while back if I was willing to die for the beliefs that I have, and I told him straight up, yes I am. And when they're ready, we'll fucking dance. If they want to come and try to fucking pull some bullshit, bring bags. Somebody's going down. Bring bags.
Well, let me say this, not trying to get us off topic. A couple of years back, I decided to come up with a policy for my rentals. I do not rent to single mothers anymore.
Good.
Nada.
Good. Here's the thing, though. They'll put you in jail for that. Or
Well,
fine.
I'm willing to go to jail for it, and trust me, brother, I have been.
Have you noticed that anything you do as a resentment or rebellion to these corrupt fucking cocksuckers, they are trying to make illegal, even
Look.
down to using language to say that
Exactly.
you committed a crime?
I have fought the courts on multiple levels against things that involve single mothers, like you have no idea. And most of these courts, I mean, we could be in a freaking red state like I am, and the freaking courts are goddamn liberal.
Yes, they are.
The judge wanted me, the judge ordered me to accept the rental assistance by the eviction moratorium under Joe Biden. And I said, no, I'm not accepting it because I don't want a single mother in one of my units. And the judge said, but it's free money. And I said, no, Your Honor, it's not free. It's coming from the taxpayers of the United States of America.
Yeah. They see it as free money because they don't
Yep.
see
No, that's a
you
lie,
as,
they say.
yeah, they don't see you as a taxpayer as anything other than a fucking insect to be crushed under their boot. That's how the
Exactly.
politicians, judges, mayors, doesn't matter what the fuck level of insider you are, even the fucking social workers will tell you the exact same thing. You're nothing but scum to them because they're in some class above you. And
You're correct, sir.
You're just a scumbag and at best a number on their book. That's it.
You're 100% correct, sir. Everybody hates the landlord.
Yep.
Yep.
And you know what? What in my empire, that's not how things will be. Hail the empire of freedom.
Well, you got a first vote right here, Mr. Chris. I elect you as the benevolent dictator.
That's just it. I don't even need a vote. I'm an emperor. I don't require a vote. I just fucking take the country and make sure.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's free.
Well, if you want to help out the empire, go up to the meetup in Canada and bring him a box of ammo.
Yeah.
Hey, True Blood, on that note, are you going?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've got some other shit I've got to take care of.
One of the things that I have been trying to do is I have been trying to identify brothers that are down here in the southern United States. Mr. Pliskin, Cowboy, Gone with John. That's and a fella that
Cowboy's in Chicago.
Yeah. Say again.
Cowboys.
Oh, that's the other that's the other cowboy. There's two cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to identify Southern brothers that they could come down here and you know, we could have a Southern meetup. Yeah.
Are you talking about MGTOW Outlaw? Is he
that is correct. Yes, Outlaw. He's in Alabama.
You ain't country.
Hey, I'm just
down south.
Look, son, I'm just as redneck as they come.
Oh, I believe that. I'm just quoting Indy.
I like to pull it out when I need it. It's like I can be as redneck as they fucking come. I just have to open up my manual. I'm as far from a redneck as they could be born, but you know what? I got a manual for it.
Yeah. Hey. Now, when we have our meetup, we'll be going out in my damn yacht tuna fishing and dolphin fishing.
Nice. Are you gonna try? Like, do you guys have marlins down there? Blue marlins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I need somebody to smuggle me across the border. Or I need to build a big enough army.
Is crawfish a Louisiana thing, or is that over there in Mississippi?
Oh, it's everywhere there's crawfish.
Crawfish is a Louisiana and Mississippi thing.
Yeah.
It's everywhere there's crawfish. It's a thing. Yeah. Trust me. It just ain't those two states.
We have
True Blood, can I tell you a joke?
Sure.
What has 4 eyes and cannot see?
I don't know. What has 4 eyes and cannot see?
Mississippi.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Oh boy, I take that as a great honor, sir, from the Joke Master Supreme.
Well, I think on that note, we need to end on a high note. So don't listen to Postal Bob. He's he doesn't know shit. Anyways, we're gonna end the stream here. I'm trying to not run out of hours this month. So
yes, sir.
Final thoughts, Rusty.
True Blood, I love you as a brother. If you ever need any help, contact me. Okay.
Okay.
Chris, you never need any help, contact me. Absolute, if you ever need any help, contact me. Any brother that ever needs any help, please contact me. I will do the very best that I can, because men need to support men.
That is a great thought. Thank you very much, Rusty. Absolute, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah. I'm not down. I don't want anything to do with this social credit crap. I don't want anything to do with the social credit, the digital currency, the jab passports, which are a thing.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with any of this fucking crap that the normies allowed to happen. And fuck
Absolutely.
it all. I heard I heard digital currency might be coming in December of this year. I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
I heard
It's already here.
digital currency could be coming in December. I mean, obviously banking, you can bank online and make transfers, obviously. But I'm talking about like getting rid of. I mean, I like dollar bills. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much. And definitely a good advice is to have some solid assets. And if they're going to get rid of the dollars, buy gold. All right, Chris, any final thoughts? All right, he's muted. Brothers, I'd like to remind you, this is a day that shall live in infamy. The 18th of August was when they ratified the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
It didn't come from nowhere. This was an organized, well-funded initiative foisted on us by corrupt, and I dare I say evil, power brokers in Great Britain.
Yep.
This is a direct, the suffragette movement is a direct result of interference in the society of man by the Rothschild family to promote their banking interests.
And to weaken the population, of course. Sorry, I had to
That
step
goes
away.
without saying. Now, do you have any final thoughts, Chris?
No, I just had to put the little guy in bed. Unfortunately, I missed the last 5 minutes there.
All right, we're wrapping it up.
FLCAGUN. That's you, Rusty.
Say that again.
FLCAGUN to Yahoo.
Is that my email?
Is that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's flcajun at yahoo.com. Florida Cajun at yahoo.com.
FL Cajun. Got it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So remember, men, you can still stand up on your own. And peace be unto all of you.
Thank you, True Blood.
Hey, brothers.
Thank you
You
very
guys can
much.
stick around for. We can chat afterwards too, but I'm shutting the stream down now. Bye bye,
Yes, sir.
everybody.
Goodbye, brothers.